We could talk about the grid, we could talk about the power generation, we could talk about the need for future energy, we could talk about demography and a lot of things. But in this, the power sector is in the middle of all these discussions, and the emission trading system is one of the tools that we have created as part of the solution.
If the whole world moves together in carbon reductions, the cheap reductions are being done in the countries and the foreign countries themselves, instead of having the cheap options and the cheap credits available to us through CDM. So you get in a kind of strange situation that if Europe is going to go alone on carbon markets, and if we have a free import of credits, then it is relatively cheap to go this way, but you don't reach the effect. You only reach the effect in terms of mastering climate change in case the whole world is moving together.
Some 2 years ago, some 61 of our CEOs, representing about 75% of power generation in Europe, undertook to move their companies to carbon neutrality by 2050. And they did that on the basis of an integrated market and using energy efficiency and electricity as the solutions to mitigate climate change. That the emissions trading scheme should become the essential driver. So that's where I'm coming from. The simple answer to the question posed is yes, there is a role for the ETS.
Three things that we need to do to decarbonise power. We need a better technology mix, more renewables and as much nuclear as is politically and technically and economically feasible. We need more energy efficiency, not just on the demand side, but also on the supply side. Power stations are notoriously inefficient. Transmission networks are inefficient. 7% of all the electricity that goes into Europe's transmission networks is lost before it even gets to the distribution networks, let alone to the customer. And the third part of our holy trinity, carbon capture and storage.
You look around the world at the moment, everybody has been subsidised, all the big corporations, left, right and centre, money's been thrown at them. Yet it's the everyday man and woman in the street who's saying, hold on a second, it's my future, I'm the one who's paying. I'm the one who pays if you make the wrong investments, Mr. Power Sector, Mr. Eurelectric, because I'm the one who's going to have to pay extra to undo the work that you've just done. I'm the one who's going to suffer from the impacts of climate change when it happens. I'm also going to have to pay for the increased cost of climate change as it affects my livelihoods. So you're going to start to see a lot more unrest and a lot more unease with people just asking basic questions, which is, no more easy rides for corporations. What we want are real hard investments on the ground.
We're looking at this in the European context, and we're looking at very much, I think, in not simply in driving down our own CO2 emissions, but in driving forward the technology, which is a shift, I think, over the years. A few years ago, we were talking very much only about CO2, and now it's all about the technological innovation and the low carbon future, and making sure that Europe is not left behind by emerging economies. Let me finish with a final word of political condemnation. If you are anti-nuclear, anti-CCS, anti-building power lines because they don't look nice, and anti-gas fracking, then I don't know. Just look to Alstom because they'll build anything.